boy. $277. Excuse me. Yo, what's good? Welcome, Freedom Marchers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Tyrus Bain. Welcome to Freedom March channel, where today on Wednesday, July 22, 2022, I'm going to be talking about the bipartisan, well, I don't know why I put quotes around that, bipartisan gun control bill coming out of the Senate. The Keep Neighborhood or Keep Communities Safe Act, or basically Take Away Your Rights Act. All right. This bill, they've been talking about this for quite a few weeks. They were talking, Mitch McConnell gave the go-ahead for the Republicans to negotiate our rights away with the Democrats. And they came up with a framework, right? There was all this hoopla back and forth talking about, oh, this ain't gonna happen. Oh, there ain't nothing in writing. Oh, this, that, and the third. Oh, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff to kind of give freedom lovers false hope that maybe the Republicans will come to their senses. But what ends up happening is they draft this bill, they bring it to the floor, to get over the filibuster, and you had 14 senators, including a senator from South Carolina, Republican senator out of South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, including him voting to advance this bill for an official vote in the Senate. Then it would go to Congress, where I believe it'll have more resistance in Congress than it will in Senate. But the point is, today we had 64 senators commit treason against the people, right? They drafted this bill. So now the conspiracy to deprive people of their rights is official. Okay? And what am I talking about, deprive people, the crime of depriving people of their rights? Well, I constantly talk about 18 U.S. Code 242 and 18 U.S. Code 241. 18 U.S. Code 242 is a conspiracy to deprive people of their rights, right? To deprive people of their rights. And, what a conspiracy takes is two or more people getting together to figure out a way to take people's rights away. All right. Now, this code was essentially put in place to keep politicians in check, right? To keep politicians, government officials in check. But for some reason, these politicians, they commit acts of treason against the people every day, but no one is using this code to have them to make an example of them. I don't know why. I don't know what the point is of having executives, in government if they're not going to do their job. What is an executive's job? An executive's job, right? The executive branch's job is to enforce the laws, right? 18 U.S. Code 242, 18 U.S. Code 241 are laws, right? Laws, edicts, basically instructions, right? And when those things are violated, they should be enforced by the executive branch, even if members of the executive branch are committing these treasonous acts. But for whatever reason, the enforcement arm of the government, they're not enforcing this shit. But that of course is expected, because at the end of the day, they don't really care about checks and balances. That's what this whole shit is about. Checks and balances, right? Codes like 18 U.S. Code 241, right? Deprivation of rights under the color of law, and 18 U.S. Code 242. That's essentially a paper tiger, right? Because no one is doing anything about it. No one is arresting these people for committing these acts, for violating these laws, these so-called laws. So what we have is an emboldenment of these motherfuckers to continue to come after our rights. Even these bitch ass Republicans who are supposed to be pro-gun right, pro-2A. No, they're not, right? Stop calling them rhinos. That's another thing we need to stop doing. Stop calling them rhinos. There's no distinction between the Republican who voted for this bullshit and the Republicans who didn't. You know why? Because even the Republicans who did not vote for this stupid ass gun control bill that they're trying to dress up to make it seem like it's not violating the Constitution, they're not calling for the arrest of the senators who did vote for it. Right? They're just sitting on their hands. They're not going to rock the boat. They're just going to sit in the boat. They're not going to paddle the boat towards the end of freedom, right? But they're in the boat, and they're not. Their hands aren't on the paddles at this very moment, right? So they're not calling for these people to be arrested by the executive branch, because there is no checks and balances, right? There are no checks and balances. It's an illusion. The three branches create, I mean, maybe initially when it was brought about, it was about checks and balances. That's really what the intention was. The intention was for there to be checks and balances among the three branches of government to keep each other in check. And the Constitution was supposed to check all them motherfuckers. You know? But they shit all over the First Amendment. You know why? Because we don't want people to yell fire in the movie theater. Oh, we don't want people to make verbal threats. Right? So who determines what a verbal threat is? Right? You can't say certain shit in the airport. You can't do this, you can't do that. Right? Now all of a sudden, the town square has moved to the town square, the public forum has moved to places like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all so-called private industries, right? So-called private entities. So they don't have to uphold people's free speech. But they will take government money, right? They will take government subsidies made possible by the extortion payers that they like to call taxpayers. You see, the game is rigged. The game is rigged. It's rigged. You understand what I'm saying? So what we have, what we have are politicians who don't give a shit about your rights, man. This bitch out of West Virginia, this Republican senator out of West Virginia, considered one of the freest states in the union, right? She sits up here talking about, oh no, there won't be any red flag laws in West Virginia, but you vote for a bill that would incentivize states to initiate red flag laws. Understand that if you were relying upon government officials, whether they be Democrats, rhinos, Republicans, whether you were, I hope you understand that this shows that they are not reliable. They are not going to do jack shit for you. They may give the illusion that they're going to do jack shit for you so that you don't go and picket in front of their house, so that you made me leave them alone. Oh, I didn't vote on that bill, but you sat there and allowed these people to negotiate how much of our rights they're going to take. And you didn't have them arrested. You didn't call for their arrest. You didn't stand up and say, you are violating 18 U.S. Code 242. You should be placed under arrest. You're not doing that. You know why? Because you think it's good enough to just not vote for it. I'm just going to not vote for it, and that's it. Politicians and executives and the judiciary can't be relied on for shit. All right? We got this. Everybody's waiting on the Supreme Court case for the gun control, out of New York. Everybody's waiting on NYSRPA versus, I forgot who the guy's name was. Everybody's expecting the Supreme Court to wipe away every gun control law or something. It's not going to happen. The most they might do is say, you can't do may issue, you got to do shall issue. And of course, they're already coming up with clever ways to violate 18 U.S. Code 241 and 242 in New York, in the state of New York, and other states where they don't want to be burdened by this Supreme Court decision. They're already coming up. They got every angle. The Supreme Court justices are not going to come out and say every gun control law, as is made clear by the way New York is handling their permit issuance, is a clear violation of the Constitution, a clear violation of people's rights to keep and bear arms. And it is our opinion that any law that would infringe upon the people's rights to keep and bear arms is unconstitutional. You know what that would do? If they did that, that would be the right. Okay, these people. In South Carolina, they don't like to let you get over. They're fucking assholes. Anyway, and here I go. I got to be on the right hand side, but this motherfucker was so dead set on not letting me get into the right lane. Now I got to maneuver and do some other shit. Anyway, the Supreme Court is not going to do that. They're not going to say, well, clearly every gun control law is a slippery slope to infringing on people's rights to keep their arms. So it is our opinion that every gun control law that has anything to do with delaying, charging people, taxing people's rights, all this shit that they try to do is a clear violation of the Constitution, and it shall all be eradicated and abolished. They're not going to do that. The Supreme Court is not going to do that, right? They're going to do some language, just like the Heller fucking decision, right? Oh, the Constitution clearly protects the people's rights to keep their arms, but that's as far as it went. It didn't stop. As a matter of fact, it called for the ability to restrict people's rights to keep and bear arms. So they contradicted themselves in that decision. It says shall not be infringed. This whole government, everyone in it, anyone that, well, I'm not gonna say everyone, not the staff and people that have nothing to do with laws. Every politician, every executive that makes decisions, all that type of shit, even the people that enforce the decisions, like pigs, they all can be arrested and placed in prison. And many of them, according to 18 U.S. Code 242, shall suffer life in prison or death. But I've never heard of a politician, of a sitting senator, a sitting congressperson, a sitting executive, right? I'm talking about an executive that makes, like a president, a mayor, a sheriff, those type of people, commissioners. I've never heard of the people, them being arrested for violating 18 U.S. Code 241 and 242. Now, have executives been and politicians been arrested for corruption? Being involved in the drug trade, selling black kids up the river, like the judge did, those are clear crimes, right? But outside of that, when has it ever been used for its purpose? Talk about draining the swamp, right? If Trump wanted to drain the swamp, he would have gotten, let me tell y'all, if Donald Trump was a real one, which he's not, right? Because it's because of him we have all this red flag law bullshit, right? What did he say? I like take the guns first, due process second. He is not a pro-2A president, but he'll sit there at the NRA convention. If Donald Trump was a real one, right? He would have assigned an AG, Attorney General, who would seek to any politician or any executive that would create laws or enforce laws that violated people's rights to keep and bear arms, or any other right. The First Amendment, Second, Third, Fourth, Fifth. Hold on. My bad, y'all. So, I mean, if Trump was a real one, but he's not. He's not. It doesn't take much, man. It doesn't take much to enforce.
250 feet. Cross Bull Street and continue straight on.
It doesn't take much, right?
Cross Bull Street and continue straight on. Then in 250.
I silenced this shit. Why is it talking? Anyway, it wouldn't take much, man. All you have to do is instruct your Attorney General to start making these arrests. Like, look, arrest that person, arrest this person. They violated this. They violated 18 U.S. Code 241. That person violated 18 U.S. Code 242. It's simple. It's real. I swear to God, it's simple. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything special. You don't have. It doesn't take an act of Congress, right? It doesn't take an act of this. It does not. You don't have to get special permission. No. All you gotta do is say, look, enforce the laws that are already on the books. These laws are already there. These codes are already there. They're violating them. Have them arrested, right? Now you need a special election. You start arresting senators and congresspeople. Now you need a special election. You need a special election to get somebody else in there. Oh, they're violating. Boom, you got to arrest them too. And then you're going to start getting the real motherfuckers in those seats. You're going to start getting real freedom lovers up in there, right? Make an example. But that's not going to happen. You know why? Because we leave it up to them to do this. Those things are not going to happen. It's a pipe dream, even though the tools are already there. The tools are there. The path is already laid. They already gave you the verbiage that is very clear cut. And it's not just rights, right? Also, privileges. Privileges, like they like to call shit privileges. Oh, you don't deserve a privilege. Who said? Who said? I don't see a difference between a privilege and a right. Right? I don't. Because I see a privilege as a right that's not necessarily life or death necessity, right? But you still have the right to have that privilege. So it doesn't just talk about rights. If you violate someone's privilege, if you take away someone's privilege, because they like to say with the cars, oh, you don't have the right to drive cars on the road. It's a privilege. Driving a car is a privilege, not a right. That doesn't mean that you don't have that privilege to drive a car shall not be violated either. You see, people get shit confused, right? They think that they don't have to let you have a privilege. That's bullshit. If you can afford the privilege, then guess what? If you can afford it, you know what I'm saying, and if you're not violating someone else's right while exercising that privilege, then you have, guess what? It's yours. No one has the right to take that away from you. Point blank in the period. But they like to confuse you. Oh, that's a privilege, not a right. Oh, and I have a right to that privilege. You see what I'm saying? See, they think privileges and rights are mutually exclusive. They're not. Every privilege is a right. But not every right is a privilege. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, listen, don't expect government motherfuckers to do shit for you. You understand what I'm saying? Don't expect the government to do the right thing. They're not righteous. They're not altruistic. Everything they do is for a purpose, and the purpose is to gain more power. The purpose is to gain more power. The purpose is to extract wealth from you. That's what this is about. That's what government equals force, power. You know what I'm saying? Whoever got most of that, hey, they got the power. They have the power to remove rights from you, right? They have the power, and they will exercise that power. Why? Well, because that's what they do. I'm trying to find this building. Am I in the right place? This don't look right. Anyway, it's about power, man. The power to restrict, the power to remove your rights, the power to remove your privileges, the power to the fuck is this place at? The power to extract wealth and redistribute that bitch to wherever they want. I mean, Hunter Biden obtained a firearm illegally and dumped it, right? And the Secret Service helped him cover it up. But there were no arrests made, right? Gun control didn't work in that instance. Hunter Biden still ripping and running with a gun. He wasn't placed under arrest. So what's the point, right? That tells you what? Rules for thee and not for me. What kind of justice is that? What kind of... Come on. Let me see what y'all talking about real quick. Sunshine in the building. James Millage in the building. Marcia Wirtz in the building. Old Head Deuce in the building. Yes, many oath breakers, Marcia says. The elephant in the room is the fact that none of these laws are going to stop someone from committing a crime. Yeah, exactly. Criminals don't obey laws. That's not the point, though. The point is they know law abiders are going to obey them, and that's who they really care about obeying the laws. That's because they don't want you to rise up against them. And if you have the ability and you have your rights to keep your arms intact, then that is something that is very possible for some law abiders, right? But we know it doesn't take the majority, right, to win a revolution. Just the tireless minority, right? That's who they really want to restrict, because they know they know that some of these law abiders would be willing to take up arms against a tyrannical government. And so they're going to place in front of them these laws and restrictions that's going to bring about a conundrum for these freedom lovers, right? They're going to be faced with a conundrum like, okay, they created this law that would make me a felonious criminal if I keep my AR-15. Do I keep my AR-15 and risk being imprisoned as a felon because I kept it? Or do I turn it in, or do I destroy it? They're going to be faced with that conundrum. Now, law abiders that have no will to fight, they're just going to destroy their AR-15. They're going to sell it back, or they're going to turn it in. That's what they're going to do, because that's in their hearts. They're just cowards, right? But the people that are law abiders but don't want to obey those laws because they know that they are anti-constitutional or whatever, anti-freedom, they're going to be faced with that conundrum. They're going to be confused. They're going to be torn, right? They're going to be frozen in indecision. Like, do I go out to the range with this and risk getting caught with it? What do I do now? Do I go out into the woods and hopefully no one catch? Like, do I train with it, knowing that if I get caught, I can be violated? These are things that's what these laws are for. Whereas the full-on criminal, the criminal who actually creates victims, they're gonna say, all right, thank you for creating more victims. Thank you for increasing my pool from whom I can violate. Right? That's what these laws are gonna do. You stupid fool was good. Chelsea G was good. Good morning. Good afternoon. Sunshine says they are using situations which in some are staged, not real stories, to convince the sheeple not to fight back. Meanwhile, we will not have a way to defend our... Exactly. The question is, why is there so much need for them to disarm us? What is on the horizon that they have planned against those of us who reside on this soil? I mean, here's the thing. They're trying to accelerate. Whatever they have planned, they want to accelerate it. But they can't as long as there's 400 million firearms in this country, over 200 million of which, over 100 million of which are AR-15s, AK-47s, very popular rifles that they don't want us to even have access to. As long as we have those, and as long as the Constitution is in the way, illusorily, right? Because it's really not in the way. But they can't just violate it overtly because they know that people are not going to have it. So what they do is they get together in the Senate and they form this anti-freedom cabal, right? The Violate Your Rights group of senators, Republican and Democratic senators, and they're going to give the illusion that, we're going to make sure with the red flag law that it's not arbitrary and that it's not just going to be malicious, and we're going to make sure we charge people who falsely give information that leads to someone having red flag laws initiated against them. But you have to have the red flag law has to be initiated in the first place, right? Because if they were going to wait to come take your shit until after they proved what the individual said, like that individual said you're a danger to yourself or others, if they wait until they prove that, then it kills the red flag. It basically makes the red flag law null and void. The whole point of the red flag law is to get to you and make sure that you don't do something before you do it. That's the whole point of the red flag law, right? Is to, this person showed signs of aggression and violence, so we got to go take his shit before that happens. That's the point of the red flag law. Well, if you put in there that, we got to make sure what you're telling us is the truth, right? Because anything that they would use to prove that are already unlawful, right? Like if you plan to shoot a school, well, that's already unlawful, right? You don't need a red flag law for that. If you can prove that someone was planning to shoot up a school, then you wouldn't need a red flag law. There's already laws against that. There's already laws against threatening people. There's already laws against threatening violence. There's already laws against committing violence. There's already laws against that. So what's the point? And it's just like the whole bullshit about what else was in there that was unnecessary that they put in there that is already against the, like there's already shit in there that's against the law. There's already shit in there that you should that don't know, man. I don't know what to tell y'all. March T was good. Oh yeah, Australia. They went ham on Australia. Remember, the military has been focusing on city tactics for the past 10 years. It's all about kicking in doors in homes and cities and country districts. Yeah. Without resistance. They don't want resistance. Marcy says, much love, everyone. We are in for a fight of our lives. Stand by your brothers and sisters. Anything coming out of MSM is propaganda. Please. Yeah, they are against us. It's real shit. I mean, it's plain as day. It's plain as day. Like, even a fool could see it. You know, it's time for these big channels to take a more bold stance, right? Many of them, they want you to contact your congressperson. They want you to contact your senator and all this other shit. They want to wait until 2026 to remind everyone that this senator voted for this bill. That's not enough, man. That means that's another 4 years that this individual is in the position that she's in to do more damage. You have to stop the shit where it stands. And that's why I always talk about 18 U.S. Code 242, 18 U.S. Code 241. These people need to be placed under arrest, point blank and period. The Constitution is clear. The First Amendment is clear. The Second Amendment is clear. Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. It's all clear. It's very clear. It outlines, I mean, come on. Let's not forget the rights that are not enumerated in the Constitution that are still protected. It says so in the Constitution, right? It talks about the rights that aren't enumerated, because it's important to understand that the Constitution, you don't need the Constitution to know what your rights are and know that they need to be protected. It doesn't have to be in the Constitution for it to be protected. But that's how they like to present shit. So, you know, it is what it is. Chez Pierre was good. Then who don't they see? My roommate is complete cognitive dissonance. Can't see nothing. It's unfortunate. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Marcy T, sometimes people just kind of continue to see nothing, and you just got to move on. You know, you can do all you can to open up eyes. If they refuse to open their eyes up because of fear or whatever, nothing you can do. All you gotta do is move on. All you can do is move on. And when the shit goes down, make sure you let them know. Stay the fuck out of your way. All right. I mean, that's all it is to it. People aren't going to wake up. Yeah, they can't wait. They can't wait. Wayne J92. All these program channels are naive. All they say is call, write, email. Look, I'm not going to say don't do that. Call your senators, call your congresspeople, because it does work sometimes. Sometimes they get a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, the more you call is more of a sign that to them that you're not just going to lay down yet, right? That you have some fight in you. You're not just going to let them violate you. But that's not enough, because all they're going to do is wait a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? Try to word the language, try to tweak the language a little bit to make you a little bit more happy, right? Like with the boyfriend loophole shit where they say, what's a relationship? What the fuck does that matter? What? How long is it? Like, it doesn't fucking matter, right? I mean, listen. It's time for arrests to be made. That's what you do. And you let them know why. And let them understand that you know that what law they violated or what U.S. code they violated to have them placed under arrest. And then you start calling for their arrest publicly and openly. If you have these huge platforms where you have a huge voice and you reach millions of people, and you say, yo, this senator needs to be placed under arrest for violating this code, this senator, that senator, this senator, and you start calling for their arrest and everybody's screaming it loudly, of course the cops ain't gonna listen to you, right? That's not, the cops they're not gonna do it for you. They're not just gonna arrest Senator Lindsey Graham because you told them to. But you sparking fear in them. You making them think a little bit. And there are such things as citizens arrests. I'm just saying. And it's not just Republican. It's not just politicians. Cops, right? Cops can violate your rights, deprive you of your rights under the color of law. There shall be no law, right? Or it doesn't. If they use, oh well, it's by the law. No, if it violates your rights, then that police officer could be arrested, right? That's what the people are there for. That's what the people are there for. You see a big crowd of people, and somebody's getting their rights violated by the cops, and you know they're getting their rights violated, and there's 20 or 30 people standing around, and 2 or 3 cops snatch their fucking handcuffs. And you have the capability and the ability to place these motherfuckers under arrest, right? Arrest the cops. Oh, this cop violated 18 U.S. Code 242 or 241 of this individual. This cop violated this human being's rights. So we place him under arrest. That'll confuse the shit out of them. And guess what? They're going to look at that code and they're going to start to think twice. Like, holy shit. These people really doing it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where you have to take it. Oh, I'm so fucking pissed. 21. I mean, they're gonna be like, what? Wait. 18 U.S. code. Let's look that up. And they're gonna look it up and they're gonna see it. And they're gonna be like, oh, okay. I mean, of course that cop's not gonna stay arrested, right? They're gonna be released. But the people have to start to make noise, man. The people have to make noise. Right? And these big YouTubers, these big guys, you got to encourage them. You got to encourage them and let them know. Damn it. You got to let them know what it is. You know? People need to know that they have... People need to know that they have the avenues, right? That they have a way out, that they have a way to obtain their freedom, right? You know, if you're constantly complaining about the system and you tell people, oh, well, use the system to get at the system, well, then they're going to be like, well, what's the whole point? What's the point? The system is just going to, the system is built for the system. It's not built for me. So it's a waste of time. And then it does nothing. I think this is it. Oh no, this is it. Yeah. So, but if you give people a real way to get shit done, then they're going to be more inclined to do it. Right? They're not going to be discouraged. You can't, I mean, I know using 18 U.S. Code 241 and 242 is using their system, but it's using it in a way that they would not expect. Because honestly, it's not part of the system because they don't use it. They don't use that. They don't use that to in tyranny. No, they just, it's just there being ignored. So honestly, in reality, you're not You're not necessarily using the system as they mean for it to be used. So it's a way to open their eyes, let them know that that legitimately there are ways they could be arrested for violating your rights and put to death. Put to death if they violate your rights to the point where they're placing you under arrest, kidnapping you, right? If they kidnap you, perform bodily injury against you, all that type of shit, all those are ways that they could be put to death. And those codes were written for a reason. Bakari Akil Bey was good. Marcia Wirtz says, yes, New California State is standing for New California State. What's that? Are you talking about they're trying to break off from California? Carl Trumbley says, it's always a remedy to the situation. Exactly. Also, Young Grip, F them roads. Too many people love being in the Matrix, unfortunately. Yeah. No, changing from within is not working. Because in trying to change the system from within, you have to be careful that the system doesn't change you. Because this system is so entrenched and firmly in place that it'll be very difficult for you to change anything from within. Like, let's say that was Trump's intentions. Let's say it was his intention to change the system from within by becoming the president of the United States. We see how well that worked. He didn't even get fucking 2 terms. He got 1 term, and they got his ass out of there. So it shows you how well that works, right? But anyway, got to get out of here. Much love, like, share, subscribe. I got to my destination. And I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. Y'all stay up. And remember, we got to keep marching forward toward freedom. Oh, some very interesting news about Uvalde. All right, about what happened in Uvalde with the mass situation at Robb Elementary. Some new evidence and some new shit came out that I'm going to be talking about maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Maybe early morning tomorrow. So y'all look out for that. And your boy B Tatum ain't gonna have an answer for this one. You understand what I'm saying? So we gonna get into that tomorrow. I'm gonna show the receipts. We gonna get into it, and it's gonna be lovely. So might not be today though, but look out for it early tomorrow morning. I might have to get up early tomorrow morning, like 5 o'clock, 5:30, before my workout, so I can get that in. Maybe spend 30 minutes to an hour, knock it out, boom, do my workout, so that we can have the information. But I need to get the shit out of here, and I've been waiting because I found this shit out yesterday, and no one's been talking about it that I know of in the YouTube streets. Okay, so we gonna see what's up. Jade Miller said, "Are you gonna talk about that to Tatum's recent video about Uvalde too?" Absolutely. He gave you a tip of the, he gave y'all a tip of the iceberg, just a tip. Oh, it's way more came out than that. Oh yes, sir. I mean, even in that video, he showed you why he's uncredible. He's not credible, right? So I'm gonna talk about that. So yeah, much love, like, share, subscribe, and I'm gonna get out of here. Let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Look out for that. Look out for that live stream either tonight